Nothing here is black and white. Nothing here is black and
Hey guys, how we doing? Good to be back. Hope everybody's well. Vlad, how you doing, mate? Steve, how you doing? Jamie, muting the intro. Absolute heretic. How you doing, mate? Norm, how you doing? Ed, good to see you, mate. And the perfect fade out. Hello. Yeah, how has everybody been? It's been a month since we've done a stream. Yeah, it's been ages. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, hope you guys have been well. Anybody done any cool shoots? Been anywhere good? Paid shoots or otherwise? Portraits, corporate headshots, even. They all count. They all count, guys. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Vlad in first this week. Love to see it, mate. Love to see it. So Vlad, I saw your message on Instagram. You said that a company sent you a light. Who was that, and what did they send? How did you get that as well? Because that's pretty cool, man. Free stuff is always good. Yeah. Jamie said no, apart from a product shoot for a friend. Oh, product shoot. Interesting, Jamie. Okay. So what was it, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what was it like? Because product shots seem easy, and then you get in there, and then 7 hours later, you're like, Jesus, I really should start shooting something. Because product shoots can take up. I guess it depends on how fastidious you are. Neurotic about the lighting, yeah. So I've like got the Ulanzi LE20. Let's have a look. What we got here? Copy that. Let's see. Let's take a look. Am I spelling it right? Ulanes. I'm not spelling it right. Is that the word? Because I'm getting all sorts of weird stuff coming up, lad. Doing mostly videos. Really, Ed? Okay, interesting. Like short videos, or are you doing like music videos, or are you doing like commercials for clients? What do you mean? Yeah. Vlad says, been a cool toy, but I want to play with some portraits. Have you created content lately? Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, content is king these days, mate. Yeah. I'm not spelling it right on my phone. Autocorrect, yeah, man. Perfume bottle. Oh, okay, yeah. Just a simple setup for online, but did try and do something slightly fancy. Okay. So, look, I got a confession to make about. I did a perfume shoot like a year or so ago, and it wasn't just of the bottle; it was of the model, and the model was holding it, and that sort of stuff as well. And like my style, they wanted a bunch of stuff. To be fair, they wanted a bunch of colored light. They wanted some kind of projected stuff, and they also wanted this kind of like airy fairy type look as well. So it's like a whole range, and I was just in the zone, like shooting like I would normally shoot, and then I realized that at the end, this is me stupidly not shooting tethered, because I hate shooting tethered. And then I got to the end of the shoot, and I'm looking at the images going, okay, she's in focus, but the perfume bottle is not in focus, because shooting at f2.8 or something like that. And I think even when I was shooting at 105 mil at one point, f2 or something like that. So I had to comp it in, yeah. So I mean, look, it looks cool being shadowed at the field, but like, that is a schoolboy mistake. But I mean, it was fine. The client was happy. It didn't take too long, but it was just like, yeah. On reflection, like, what would I mean? I would have had to have shot that at f8 to get both her eyes in focus and the kind of bottle that she's kind of like holding, here and that sort of thing. For them to both be pinch up, so but f8 would have just looked pretty dull. So in kind of hindsight, I'm like, maybe it did actually look kind of cool, because it was really shadowed up the field, and then the eyes and the bottle were in focus. So like the end shot looked really cool. And in hindsight, maybe I would do it like that again and just actively shoot more shots with the bottle in focus to comp it later. But yeah, I felt like an idiot afterwards. Ulanzi, of course it is. Yeah. 20 watt LED. You should try and find it. Yeah, no worries. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look. Be honest, has anybody else done anything dumb on a shoot that you just like, what a schoolboy error? I should know better than that. You're among friends here. Surely somebody must have done something daft that you don't mind admitting to other photographers. James, I'm still trying to set up a video shoot with everything I've learned here. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. If you don't usually shoot bottom stick, yeah. I mean, that's it. Yeah, I was just in the zone with the model shoot, and I was just like, she's holding it. The other thing as well is posing somebody with an object is tricky, right? Because she wasn't a professional model. She was a, I mean, she had done a bunch of modeling, so it was actually fine. But she wasn't like a pro model. It was she was from the perfume industry, as it were. So like, it was cool. It was cool, but yeah, again, schoolboy error for sure. Yeah. All right, let's have a look at what Vlad's got here. Yeah, let's turn the music down there. Okay, so this is the Ulanzi 20 watt LED. This is what Vlad got sent. Okay. So a little baby thing. Oh, actually, did you guys? What was that? What was that product that won like product of the year at NAB? Did you am I missing something? NAB product of the year 2025. Is that keyboard loud enough for you? Right next to the microphone. You guys like that? Oh, is it one of these ones where you pay your way? I mean, obviously, everybody gets chosen. And product of the year. That's right. It's come back to me now. Boom. So 25 watt Amran. Yeah. And another thing as well, I noticed when I was at the photo show and speaking to other people, Amran has really separated itself from Aperture now, which is like, before it kind of felt like it was they were pretty open about being a budget Aperture, but they seem to have separated ties. And the reason I say that is because the Amaranth stand at the photo show had no mention whatsoever of Aperture or any connection at all. So it's one of those things where you would kind of have to know. Yeah. So this Ulanzi thingy, let's have a look. Vlad's got. So you've kind of tested it for now. Okay. So just got people doing like video content and that sort of stuff, because like, these guys were just singing the praises of this, $100, whatever. But I mean, tiny light. It's going to be difficult to modify. Not much power. I'm just genuinely curious as to like what people are using them for. I mean, I've never used a light that small. I mean, like maybe if you like trying to light up the keys on a piano or something and hide it or something like that. But yeah. Based on the magnet, I guess the body of the light is plastic metal. So it's plastic though, right? Yeah, gotta be. Yeah. I once shot in JPEG only on location would be like That is a classic, man. The classic JPEG shoot. Now, I have not done that. But when I was working in the studio with a bunch of... That was a respectful laugh, by the way, Jamie. Totally understandable. Like... yeah, when I was working in the studio, we would have like the new guys coming through, and always, without fail, at some point, do a shoot on JPEG, and it'd just be like, oh... You know? It happens, man. Yeah, it happens. I just never ever want to take that camera off of RAW. Like if I could remove it from the menu, I would do. Yeah. Hey Sin, how you doing, mate? Yeah, I did a shoot for Lays, in the end she expected the crisp bag to look smooth. I had to edit like stuff like that, which is kind of like what I guess in all adverts, like the bag looks fake as hell. I guess in crisp adverts it does look like that, but like you'd think a client would kind of make that stipulation. In my opinion, they're like, yeah, we don't want any, we want it to look like a cloth bag, not a crisp packet. You feel like they would have made that stipulation, personally. Yeah. I was wondering what's just good enough for headshots. Is it? How close away would that need to be for that? Like 3 feet away, you could kind of make that work. Yeah. Is the stream freezing? Let's have a look. It should be. Oh, Jamie's having issues with the stream as well. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe I'm loading up something here, or like maybe it was the. Who knows? Yeah. Yeah. Let's have a look. So the Lace client refused to send me prop bags when I asked for them. Good. I mean, you're right to ask though, Vlad. If they wanted these bags that didn't look like real bags, yeah, then kind of weird. Yeah. It's all plastic. The bags are all plastic, though. Yeah. I have an Amaran Ace 25. This is Ed saying this. I've only used it for 2 things. Once backlight, some smoke. Okay. Yeah, that was behind the model. The second use was a full light on the night scene. Fire performer. Okay, so at night. So yeah, just very, very, very low light. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this. Should be. I don't think there's anything. Let's see if it sells out. Yeah. Let's press on. Tommy, how you doing, mate? Right, so what we're doing today? What we're doing today is we are going to be going over some news. Obviously, been a month since we've done a stream, so I'm going to kind of quick fire through the news. If the stream is still like super choppy or something like that, then just let me know, and I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it if it hasn't settled down in 10 minutes. But yeah, weird. We'll do some news and bits catch up on some bits and pieces that have been happening since I've been away. Update: I was away in Hong Kong for like nearly 3 weeks, and got back kind of late last week, and now just catching up on some bits. Catch people. Firstly, Nanlite mentioned that they want to send me the Pavo Slim 120C. So if you don't know what that is a panel. Alright, so it's a panel LED light. Now, who here has used panel LED? Right, and when I'm talking about panel, I'm talking, let's just say 12 inches, right, and beyond. Ideally, have you used a panel light larger than that? Because I'm kind of curious, because it's a very unique type of light with regards to very even when you bring it in nice and close. Steve, you got 2 Pavo Slims 120s. Nice. Okay. C's, so that's full RGB. Nice. Okay, man. Yeah. Happy with them, Steve? Good stuff. Like, have you used panels before and you were like, let's try the Nanlite ones, or are these kind of like the first panels you've had? I mean, like, what are some of the kind of selling points to you? Like they've kind of mentioned that these things are super lightweight. which again, not sure if it is compared to other ones. I mean, I'm talking about sky panels and that sort of thing. Like those things weigh the amount of a small body, right? So that is going to be. These look very thin, right? Very thin, yeah. Slim, lightweight. Does it say the weight here? I don't think so. So here we go. So that's less than 2 kilos for the 120. Okay. That's kind of wild. Okay. That is light. That is kind of nuts. Okay. That makes it very easy for booming above, right? You could get that up above somebody super easy. I mean, obviously for safety, you would always use sandbags, but that sort of weight, C-stand could probably cope with that. Yeah. Can you get them to send me one? Giving them away, mate. I like to use them more. They're pretty heavy with the control box. Oh, classic. Okay, so the control box issue. Let's have a look. Where's the control box? They always do this. Boom, there we go. Look at this little fella. Okay, it's the size of a small family saloon. How much is that? How much do you reckon the box weighs, Steve? But yeah, here's a chonker. I mean, you could use that as a ballast on the stand. You're not going to get away from it. I do like their kind of attachments and that sort of stuff they got for the stands. Looks super quick and easy to play with. I do like the pop out softbox with regards to packing it away and that sort of stuff. It just like takes up no room in the bag, and then boom, it just unfolds, if I remember correctly, like a little bit of Velcro, and it just pops out. Super soft light. I am really kind of this is the 120 here. Yeah, I am really keen to try this because, like I've mentioned to you guys before about fall off of light and drop off of light, this new LED world that we're in, with panels getting larger, I mean easier to use in terms of like lightweight and that sort of thing, should be a beautiful drop off of light if brought in super close, just out of shot, turned way down. Really should be able to get some people kind of emerging from that light. So I'm kind of keen, very keen to see what this can do. So they're going to send me that. We'll do a review of that, which we should be interested in. Let's check what we got here. Pretty heavy control box, but the panels are very light. Yeah, nice. Okay, I'm sure that as far as LED quality even goes, non-light panels will be up there. I would say so. I mean, the lights that I've reviewed so far have been the cob lights, right? The single point lights, and they have been excellent lights. I think they are truly excellent lights, and not just for the usual reasons, but for how the things are made and the features that they have. So I'm certainly very, very interested to see what they to see what these panels will do. Yeah, a couple of kilos with the batteries more. Okay, so not the end of the world then, Steve. Okay, yeah. I wish my lights had control boxes. So what do you mean by that, Vlad? Are you saying that you don't like the monoblock style head of everything being in a single unit? You kind of wish that some of the heads that you had were more lightweight and you had those control boxes externally? Okay, interesting. I mean, for like 20 years of using the Bowen strobes, right, which were the monoblocks, I'm just kind of used to using the heads and not worrying about the control box. But that being said, in fairness to Nanlite, they had several options for their control box. Looks like this one's just got a handle, so nothing too fancy. The other one had like clamps and that stuff. Oh no, it does look like it's got clamps here, like S-fit clamps. I wonder if it's in the... Yeah, there you go. Boom, that's what that is. Okay, so that will go onto the C-stand, and then it just clicks into that. Nice. Okay, so same as before. So you can absolutely have that locked off rather than it dangling about and that sort of stuff. So that's cool. Okay, I'm glad they've got that for that. Because I love that about the big 500 watt head or whatever it was that I got. Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. Which wouldn't have to reach over 2 meters on the light stand, and guess what city screen says on the lights. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, so what Vlad's saying there is he wishes that it's just easier to control the power of the lights without actually having to get on a ladder and go up there and that sort of thing. And I can definitely see that. Yeah. So do you use apps and that sort of thing, Vlad, or is it, do you know what, it's just not worth the effort for the apps? I know everybody's got one now, but some of them can be a bit sketchy. So moving on from Nanlite, obviously when we get that, I'll keep you guys posted on that. If you guys remember the previous stream I did like a month or so ago, I came back from the photo show and we spoke about some of the Godox NOLED products that Yang, the owner of Essential Photo here in the UK, kind of went through and showed me. And long story short, Yang for some reason sat through that entire live stream, and then liked what he saw and sent my name out there to Godox, and then Godox got in touch. So literally just got in touch like late last week, and I was emailing them again today. So they've got a couple of ideas that they want me to cover, but I did kind of press on the NOLED stuff, because I do think that some of their NOLED products are kind of unique and are actually offering something different to what a lot of other lights are doing in the kind of stills space, like the light flow reflectors and even the little whatever they are, Kino lights, those little sort of like soda can size lights. So I was kind of curious to kind of test those out, which they said they were open to. I also pressed them on their new kind of product lines, right? And she came back and said, here's a brief overview of the Godox lighting lines, Godox Flash series. So this is what most of us are familiar with, right? The typical Godox lights, which is our long-standing and widely recognized line, which you're likely already very familiar with. So this is the ones that we're all used to, right? They've been around for years. Now, the one that I was kind of curious about was the Lightmon series that they've just kind of brought out. Now, if you think about it, many other companies and lighting brands have kind of done this. And what they're doing is they're kind of looking at a whole lighting line dedicated to a lightweight and highly portable LED series aimed at vloggers, creators, and photographers who need a throw-in-the-bag lighting solution that's easy to use and always ready. This is kind of interesting to me because like the Lightmon lights really are kind of pretty similar to what they already do with their previous heads, right? I mean, I've got their SZ150R or whatever it is, which is 150 watt color LED cob light. And the Lightmon series, if you're not familiar with it, I think I got a couple here. Let's have a look. Yeah, here we go. Doing kind of the same thing, right? But I think we're starting to see that with a lot of lighting brands kind of diverging and trying to tap into that content creator market. Nanlite, in my opinion, have done it with their little 120 light, which I've got actually got here. I might have a look at it in a minute. Because it's a tiny little light and got enough juice and that sort of thing. And Godox is interesting that this is what Godox are doing with their Lightmon lights as well, specifically targeting that next generation, right? That next generation of photographers who are, YouTubers, right? So, and these LED lights are kind of geared up for it. And then, of course, the clarification on the Godox NOLED series are high-end cinematic lighting line designed for commercial video production, film sets, and broadcasting environments, offering more precise control, higher output, and full RGB capabilities. So this is the official word on it here. So this is this is Godox kind of three-tiered approach to lighting that they're kind of moving forward on. So their first response to me was they wanted me to use the V100, one of the Lightmon's LEDs, right? So just in case anybody doesn't know, this is a flash. This is a small mini flash, right? The LEDs and their projection attachment. They wanted me to do a shoot using those three. Kind of an interesting set. I mean, there's certainly a bunch of things that I could do. And I kind of spoke to them about how look, I find it interesting that you've asked me to do this because it's a mix of flash and LED, and I think this is where so many photographers are right now. They're transitioning from flash across to LED, and it's not like when we do it with cameras, right? If we want to switch from, I'm sure a bunch of you in chat have already done this years ago, but you switched from Canon or Nikon to Sony, right? You abandoned the real players and jump ship with the with the new girl on the block. But if you do that, if you switch camera manufacturers, you've got to get rid of everything, right? All the lenses, everything, all the battery chargers, all the batteries, everything's just got to go. You've got to get rid of everything wholesale, just, start a fire in the garden and move on, right? Whereas with this kind of weird transition that we're in with LED to flash or flash to LED is that for most of us, I mean, Jamie's mentioned this as well. He's got, I think 2, 3, 4 rotor lights, LEDs and that sort of stuff, but, still got some flashes. A bunch of us still have flashes as well as LEDs. So it's kind of interesting that they are looking to kind of double down on that and kind of showcase how we can, how people are using both flash and LEDs within the same shoot, and it's just a normal transitionary period to kind of pick up 1 or 2 LEDs, and then 5 years down the line, they'll kind of replace your whole kit. So it's kind of interesting to see them looking at it from that point of view. One thing that was interesting about this projection attachment I was kind of looking at was they have a very wide angle one here. Like super wide, like 48mm wide. That is, like, this is probably where some of the other ones are. If not, I mean, it's difficult to tell how close this is, but I get the feeling that this one here is, this 48mm one is a very wide attachment for that projection unit. And like, I don't know how much these have been photoshopped, but if that's real, that's almost no vignette at all on that. Very clean, even though that's very, very wide. And you can see how on these smaller ones, the more focused ones, you get less vignetting at the edges of this white spot. Pretty typical for the tighter lens. 65 a tiny bit, and then 48 we see a tiny bit there, but certainly very, very usable. And that's super useful for working in small spaces, home studio, whatever, boudoir in a hotel room, this sort of thing, where you got zero space, and having a very, very hard light that spreads extremely quickly without too much vignetting. Like, kind of interested to see how that stacks up. So I've asked them to send out the 48mm. Be interested to see how that fares for sure. Yeah. F the apps. Yeah, I hear that, Vlad. I hear that. Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, just FYI from Ed here. The Amaran Ace 25C in CCT at 5600K, set at 100% meters to following exposure at 6 feet, slightly under 2 meter, ISO 800. Okay. 1/25 f2 with diffuser. With diffuser. Okay. So I appreciate that, Ed. So 6 feet. So 2 meters, ISO 800. Okay. That's a 25 watt. You can see how it jumps up though, can't you? Really? Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting. It's not as bad as I thought, right? And for video is going to be fine, right? Yeah. Jimmy says, I've got a question for the gang on here. Is there a good program to automatically convert Lightroom presets into LUTs? This is for my future experiments in video. I'm trying to think. I thought there was something, because what does Capture One use? Capture One uses something different. Capture One doesn't use LUTs, right? I'm sure there's got to be something, Jamie. Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be something. I've never tried to do that, just because LUTs don't have the flexibility. But again, sometimes you don't have the option because certain programs will only accept LUTs. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking of something else. I know that there are programs that convert Lightroom presets to the Capture Ones, and for some reason I thought that might have been the LUT. Maybe it's something else. Yeah, I had done some research, but it appears you have to do it manually in Lightroom. Really interesting. Yeah, I haven't looked into it. Okay, I'm kind of surprised that there isn't anything. I would have thought that would have been something. Yeah. So Vlad says Photoshop can do it. Okay. Right. So that's what's going on with me. You got some products coming in to test, which should be good. So the reason I'm kind of telling you guys that now, if you think of any questions or queries about any of these products that you're kind of intrigued about, then pop me a message or whatever, and I will kind of endeavor to test it. But again, yeah, I'm kind of curious as to the vignetting on the 48mm here. See how that stands up, because as far as I'm aware, these things are pretty lightweight, and it could be super useful because the projection units that I've currently got are very heavy. I'm talking like comes in its own armored case heavy. So if these can do a pretty decent job with minimal vignetting and you can just throw it in your regular light bag, kind of interested. These ones as well, obviously a new line from Godox. I'm not expecting anything crazy here. Godox have been making RGB cob lights for many years now, so I'm expecting these to be absolutely fine, and I presume like maybe a couple of less features. Oh, it's got a full color screen though. Okay, so maybe yeah. Have to look at the prices and how they stand up, but yeah, here we go. Here's your YouTubers, and then the V100 I thought this was kind of interesting. They wanted me to use this. So I kind of asked if we can use a SFIT converter just to play around with modifiers, because this is a nasty light when it's not modified. Yeah. I got an idea for an optical projector. Let's find some tests and let 1v1 them with my 45-1 from AliExpress. This is, yeah, it gets to a point, Vlad, where you are kind of splitting hairs, especially as time goes on and kind of like the tech moves forward. Because you guys know that I use that optical snoot, which is that you use your own camera lens on it. I used that for years, and I used it commercially for years. I thought it was amazing. And then you get like a proper one. You know, I had the, I think the first proper one I had was actually the big boy Godox one, and then I had the Nanlite one, and they just so crisp that it was like night and day, and I would never ever use that optical snoot ever again. So I think it depends on what you're kind of looking for and what's kind of useful to you. If you're just looking to make a couple of slits of light and then color them and that sort of stuff, most things are going to be fine. Yeah. For the most part, I'm using my optical projection spotlights, whatever you want to call them, in a way that doesn't look like I'm using them. So they kind of need to be pretty clean. Okay. I'm just going to buzz through the news. In a minute, I will be talking about LEDs and that sort of stuff. We'll be bringing out this. I picked this up in China for like 15 quid. I'm kind of curious, which is an LED head. I'm just kind of curious as to like how bad is it, right? For like 15 quid, because Vlad is mentioning there about, you know, 1v1ing the projection units, and yeah, like, you know, what are we looking for? Are we looking for vignetting? Are we looking for clean edge to edge? Are we looking for sharpness, minimal light loss? Like, you know, what is really making some of these units good? And I'm kind of curious as to what this kind of cheap LED head will kind of look like. How bad is it for 15 quid when, you know, you're kind of spending 100, 150, 200 quid on something else? Just have a look at just a couple of things real quick. Believe it or not, this last time we did the stream, this hadn't been released. I think somebody popped in last minute. It may have even been Steve again, saying this was a rumor, but the Fujifilm released their medium format, which is the GFX, and this is going to be 100 megapixels in a fixed lens rangefinder camera. So this is kind of interesting, right? Who is this for? Like, is this just attacking the Leica market, which I presume so, right? It's people who've got fair play. They've got expendable income. They've got a little bit of side cash. Get something cool. I'm sure this is a nice camera to throw in your pocket. But it is $5,000, fixed lens, right? So it's an interesting product, yeah. So this is 35mm, equivalent to 28mm in yours and my money, right? So full frame DSLR, it's going to be equivalent to 28mm. I mean, I haven't shot 28mm in forever, but it's pretty wide. Like, you're not really shooting portraits on this. This is purely street photography, right? And that's an expensive camera to be walking around the streets with. So I've been away. Has anybody heard anything about this? Anybody heard like, oh my god, this actually, Jake, I know you're shitting on it right here, but it's amazing. Like, you need to test it out. You're crazy if you don't think this is good. I hate having to choose which lens every day. This is perfect for me. I've always wanted a 100 megapixel street camera. Like, yeah. I guess with the 100 megapixels, you could just shoot whatever you wanted at 28mm and then just crop into 85mm afterwards. I mean, like you're gonna have the pixels for it. But this is, yeah, I'm obviously being facetious here, and that's fine. It's not, it's not for me, and I'm sure it's not for most people. And it's just going to be like a side camera, right? If you're, if you've got the spare cash, this is your kind of holiday camera. Fine, yeah. Wish I had a spectrometer when playing around with the cheapo lights. Yeah, I do know what you mean, Vlad. Yeah. Although it's people like you and I would be interested in it. That's for people who match their outfit with a camera and care about. So I think I made a snide remark in my previous article on my website where I just come across this thread of Leica users, right? And I shit you not, where they were taking an electric sander to their Leicas to weather off the corners, right? Because some of these guys in there were going, I've had this for years and it still looks brand new. It's maybe because you're not fucking using it, mate. And I kind of want that vintage, weathered look that that you see in the movies. Just like, who has the money to be taking an electric sander to like a $5,000, $7,000 camera? Like, please get help. So yeah, we're getting off topic here, but yeah, I hear you, Vlad. Yeah, you're shooting portraits 45mm if you shoot landscape and crop wide. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is interesting that they're bringing out new products. I'm all for it, but yeah, this is probably not for me. Yeah. Fujifilm GFX Eterna camera cinema offers 4K open, yeah, that sort of stuff. The reason I'm showing this to you is really as a kind of nod of recognition to the quality of this GFX sensor, right? Which is crazy. I mean, that, like, we've just spoken about the GFX sensor in this thing here, the rangefinder, obviously the GFX medium formats that are out there right now, 100 megapixels, 50 megapixels. I think there's like 3-4 cameras all running the same chip, and then putting that same chip in these cinema cameras is kind of a big deal, right? So it's obviously a powerful piece of kit and something to keep an eye on for sure. Yeah. I think it's got the switch that zoom crops. I think it's got a switch that zoom crops in camera to 50mm and 80. Oh, okay. A bit like Sony when you can switch crop sensor. That's right, Sin. Yeah. I have seen that. I know I think on certain cameras you can like crop it in the. Obviously, the shooting raw, it's getting the full image, but you're seeing the cropped version. Okay, look, I think that's a cool feature. Yeah. I've certainly seen like black bars on other cameras to kind of people wanted to shoot the 5x4 aspect and that sort of thing. And I'm sure Nikon had it at some point. I just haven't opened any of the Nikon menus, but I think, yeah, on a bunch of cameras you can add the black bars. Yeah, yeah. We aren't going to be talking about politics, but has anybody seen the effects of this with regards to like cameras and stuff being stopped? Because Fujifilm's shocking suspension of orders, as reported by Fuji Rumors, Fujifilm Japan has halted new orders of the camera that we just spoke about, right? Which is the this one, right? So due to the tariffs and that sort of stuff, right? Due to overwhelming demand, blah, 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 that sort of thing. So, you know, it's one of those things where you may not care about politics, but politics cares about you, right? So we'll see. And there was talk of some of these companies actually say, because it's not just like, well, I don't live in America. Fuck those guys, not my problem. There was talk. I heard from certain companies going, look, we're going to need to spread that cost. We can't just dump that tariff on the Americans alone. We're going to spread that globally so that, you know, we still retain our American customers, because, you know, this is not going to be forever, right? So there is talk of spreading the, you know, like the cost that these companies are having to bear across different regions as well, which is wild, right? You know, and even some of these companies, even like Sony, to my knowledge, I think were kind of aware of this and prepping for this years ago, and actually pulled manufacturing of certain products out of China to Vietnam and Cambodia and that sort of thing, to kind of limit this, like that they have their future nerds looking down the pipe as to what's happening, perceiving this happening. Sony supposedly pulled certain products out of China, so that like me here in the UK may get a China-made camera, but the US may get a Cambodian-made camera, right? So they can kind of circumvent the tariffs and that sort of thing. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. This is far from being shaken out yet, but this is not something that only, you know, happens on the news. This is something that will be affecting all cameras. So I guess my point here is, if you're after some certain cameras in the US right now, and you're like, maybe I'll get that in a few months, maybe it's time to bag it now. You know, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not going to spend any time on it, but just kind of crazy, right? You're covering the Amaran Pano 6120. I'm not covering the Amaran, Sam. No, I'm doing the Nanlite one, 120 color. Yeah. So they're going to be sending that out to me in the next week or so. So we'll have a look. Why do you ask, Sam? Yeah. The only fallout I know is that they bumped up the price of some versions of the Sony PS5 to offset some of the tariffs. That's right, and that is in relation to my comment about Sony pulling products. I think the Sony PlayStation was part of that as well. That's like I said, you know, not what I heard, yeah, and not taken as gospel, but yeah, that is what I heard. Yeah, Sony PS5s. Yeah. It's in the UK tariffs. Been considering to add more panel lights to my arsenal. That's cheaper than the EOS. What panel lights do you have at the moment? Because I think we were talking about it before you got in here. I mean, panel for me is kind of anything over the 12-inch mark, really. So it's kind of giving you far more of a wider spread of light. Yeah. Pratik says, hi Jake, I was considering buying a new camera, upgrading from the Canon 1500D, was considering the R10 or the A6-700. That is a great question. I know none of those, I'm afraid, Pratik. Yeah. I don't shoot Canon. We used to shoot, the last time I shot Canon cameras full time in the studio was the 5D Mark IIs. That was the last time I shot Canon cameras. So if there's anybody in chat here who shoots Canon and is familiar with any of those, I'd certainly appreciate you chiming in. Yeah, Steve says the Amaran 120C was one of the products I sent you a link to earlier today. I did see that's. I did see that. I did see that, Steve. Yeah. Can we as a moderator? Let's have a look. Managing moderator can manage block words. I think you can trusted. Yeah, trusted. There you go. There you go, Steve. So Steve is been regularly sending me links here. So thank you for that, Steve. You know, these are great. Some of these we'll have a look at in a second. Well, okay, let's just open them up now as soon as we're here talking about it. Opening a new window. So this is what Sam was talking about. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, so this is the MRAM. Of course it's not. That's nowhere near. What is the 120? It's just the power, right? Okay. So how big is that? A little bit. Seems like a decent size. Or not. Here we go. So decent size. It's like it's probably exactly the same size as my laptop monitor there. Yeah. Okay. So decent size. Yeah. What's the weight there? Yeah. Okay. What's the price of that? Has anybody seen the price of that? If somebody finds it, let me know. Be interested. And is that brand new, Steve? Yeah. Stream's frozen? It seems to be okay. Very similar to the EOS 2. Yeah, I mean bigger than the EOS. So what's the EOS like? Not quite 12 by 12, right? Yeah. The A6 700 is a Sony crop. Oh, I see. Okay, thank you, Vlad. Thank you. It shows how much I know. Yeah. Okay, so he's thinking of going from Canon to Sony. Gotcha. A6 700 comes with a body stabilization, but costs a lot more than the R10. Is IBS worth it? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great question. I don't think so. I think it's a luxury. I think if you got the extra cash, then go for it. I think most of us here are probably shooting without the image stabilization. If you're shooting in the studio with bright lights, are you going to need it? You're probably not. You're probably going to be shooting at like 125th, 250th of a second, ISO 100 with lights the whole time. You're not going to be shooting in low light unless you are, right? If you're out in the street shooting kind of dusk portraits, or you're at a wedding in a church without supplemental lighting, yes, then IBIS is absolutely worth it. Yeah. I will just say this. I will say the sooner you can kind of afford to upgrade to full frame, the easier it's going to be. Yeah, I really think the full frame is going to be better for you. Yeah, in the long run. Yeah, just in terms of quality of depth of field and drop off and that sort of thing. Yeah. Steve got the price. Good lad. We got 319 there. Okay. So 320 including VAT. Thank you. Well done, Steve. Yeah, nice. Okay. Right, where have we got to back here? One of you sent me this, which is kind of cool. I apologize. I can't remember who it was, but I'd never seen this modifier before. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the stream. Like, it should be. I'm not doing anything crazy. Nothing should be downloading. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, let's get rid of some of these big boys. They drain a ton. this is opening up some of these with just tons of videos on some of these. But anyway, let's press on. So yeah, I've never seen this before. I thought it was kind of cool. It goes up right up to the ceiling, and then, I mean, great for video, right? Or interviews or something like that, where you just want a spread of light everywhere. I thought it was very cool. Yeah, I thought it was not seen this before, but I could see this being super useful. I've even got a skirt at the back to kind of bounce some of the light in if you didn't want to put it up to the ceiling. But yeah, anybody else seen that before? I thought it was pretty neat. Yeah. And again, I'm sorry, I can't remember who sent this to me, but yeah, very useful. Yeah. The modifier is wild. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. At the PC, I can do a bit of shameless self-promotion because I found something interesting differences between that small Ulanzi light and some of my old light tubes. What's the TLDR? So everybody go and check out Vlad's video. But yeah, what's the TLDR on this? You can do a bit of what are you saying there? You're saying, so I found some interesting differences between. Okay, I'll have a look later. Yeah. Okay. What do we get to? This one? Yeah. I'm bringing this up because Yang, the boss of Essential Photos, sent me this. The previous stream we were talking about waterproof bags for tubes and that sort of stuff, and he sent me this. Basically, there are waterproof tubes if you're going to be doing a lot of work in the water. There are a bunch of what they call dive lights here. Not cheap, but if you're doing a bunch of stuff underwater, then they have something specific for that, which I wasn't aware of. So, and that saves the issue of the bag floating all the way up to the surface and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. You want me to play with sound? Coming through or not?
I can't really say that I understand why do I need my lights to be pocket. But this one from Ulanzi actually is, and I want to try it out. On the back of it, it claims 20 watts of power, but that doesn't mean anything to most people, so let's see how it looks in the real world. Here, I'm in a completely blacked out room with a lamp in one hand and a standard household bulb in the other. And I would say the lamp is just slightly more powerful. And I think a perfect use case for this light would be on top of the camera, where you can get some fill light and nice sketch light in a normal studio setup.
They're good for the
even though the
eye lights, Vlad. Yeah, it's a good shout.
I really want to see if it exhibits any kind of green or magenta color shifting while I'm going through the white balance spectrum. And to do that, I'm gonna set it on a light stand in a dark room and match the white balance of my camera with the temperature of the light. And in this test, you can see on your screens that it's going towards green on the cold side of the spectrum. Finally, let's talk about the light quality of this thing. If you're planning to use it without the included diffuser, you're gonna get really masked shadow. That happens because the LEDs are kind of far apart. But with the magnetic diffuser attached, everything is okay, as long as you don't plan to use this tiny light as your key light for portraits.
Good spot there, man. Good spot, because that is nasty.
Diffuser, but I would replace it with a big umbrella. And because
nice one, Vlad. Nice one. Yeah, good shout. So the tubes there if you need it. The way the light controls the RGB is super different. Same for saturation. Okay. This keeps being recommended to me. Has anybody heard of this? Meet Clippy, the creator platform that pays you fast, boost your income, follow your passion. So essentially this is another network that is supposedly promising to pay out creators. I don't know how that kind of works when you're making a platform for creators. Like, they're not just watching each other, right? You need the normies watching it to get paid. So I don't know what their angle is on this, because I can't see how that works. This is just bots watching bots. Is that what it's become? So kind of weird. But I guess if anybody's a content creator in here and is looking to dig into it, then by all means do so. Also, just so you know, either you have stream lag or your chat is slow somehow, as the messages, including that, appears super slow in the stream. Who knows what's going on tonight? Yeah, nothing's changed other than the fact that I've been away for a month. Like, yeah, let's sign up for that platform and get rich. That's it. See, that's it. This is so Profoto is starting out Profoto Motion, right? So we spoke about this several times in recent months about how Profoto is kind of going in a different direction to a lot of the other lighting companies, right? We've spoken about like Aperture kind of split off and made Amaran, which is this kind of more budget but high quality light. We've got Nanlite, which I think is kind of dabbling in the region of content creators and that sort of stuff, and streamers, whatever, with some of their smaller lights geared up to smaller spaces and that sort of stuff as well. Godox Lightmons, again, you know, they're very open about that's the target audience that they're going for. Profoto, on the other hand, have gone a completely different direction. They've kind of split away from stills photography and are really kind of hard pushing into cinema, right? And you know, one of the lights that they brought out recently was this absolute monster here, right? The L1600D. I think it's like $8,000 or something like that. 1600 watt white light. So no RGB. Can be S-Fit as well, but it does take does take Profoto mount as well. Thing's an absolute beast, right? So no control box. I forget how much it is, like 13 kilos or something like that. So it's an absolute beast. But this is kind of their new platform that they're pushing into. So it might be worth a follow if you're curious to see where they're going with it, right? Like I said, everybody else is going into the content creation and that sort of stuff, but it looks like Profoto is doubling down on their video stuff. Again, Profoto was not at the photo show this year, which is really surprising to me. They have been spending all their money at going to the video shows. So I don't know. Does anybody shoot Profoto here? Does anybody shoot Profoto Flash and that sort of stuff? Does any of this bother you, or like is it just like do you think that you'll see less in innovation on the Flash side of things, or are you not bothered? You got your lights and you're good to go. Interesting though, because they really do seem to have veered off the stills flash side of things. Yeah. I'll check it out later, Vlad. Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah. So this Learning Light app, has anybody heard of this? It's a one of the Google Arts and Cultures things. It's not great, but its target is this AI bot that is kind of designed at teaching you lighting and that sort of thing. I know, Sin, right? I know, yeah. And it's got a bunch of different lessons that you can kind of go through that teaches you about different lighting here, and you can talk to the bot and all that sort of stuff. And it's weird. It's weird. You can't change the point of view here. You just stuck looking at this. So like I don't think it's relevant to most of us here. I think most of us here are kind of beyond this. But it's kind of interesting to see that Google are kind of playing with this and also integrating this kind of AI bot into kind of learning light. And it also has, like, there are also questions in there that it gives you, and you have to choose like kind of like the right answer and that sort of thing. So whether there's some machine learning going on there with what it's doing, who knows? Yeah, but interesting nonetheless. I thought I'd mention it. So AI is always on the horizon, right? So let's not spend too much time on this or get too worked up over it. But last month, I think it was, I did this post talking about this photographer who is kind of sharing work, but is actually all kind of AI generated, right? So this is kind of all the what do they call it? AI photography, which is kind of an oxymoron. Like, you can't have AI photography. Like, that's not a thing. But can't argue with how impressive the quality of that is, right? In terms of, like, you'd need to be very nitpicky to find fault in these and go, oh yeah, AI for sure, right? And it's kind of interesting, right? It is in this. I mean, Miriam left a comment here. I remember a few months ago you said on stream we could still tell when a few photos were AI generated if we pay attention to the lighting and other details, but it's becoming increasingly hard to tell, almost impossible now. And look, I would have to agree. I think that it is getting to a point now where I'd certainly, like, unless I was like sat down and it was an exam and you go, right, which one is the real one? Nobody's doing that. So I think 99.99% of these AI images are certainly skimming through under the radar, which comes back to this, right? So this is AI models, right? So this is a great article from Alexi Key here from Fashionography, and talking about how models are creating AI and digital versions of themselves so that they can be, used on photo shoots. So he goes on to say, one of the most striking examples in the use of AI comes from H&M and the Swedish fast fashion powerhouse that has decided to create digital twins of 30 real models. The idea is that these hyper-realistic avatars can be dropped into campaigns, e-commerce pages, and social feeds with just a few clicks. Okay, so just for clarity, this is the real image, this is the AI image of that model, right? So this Jill Kotlev here is one of the 30 models who's signed up to have her digital representation in terms of a model out there, and yeah. I don't know how smart that is, but anyway, yeah. Even my boyfriend couldn't tell the difference between a picture of the real me and the one created by AI. That alone says a lot about how advanced this technology has become. So we got more here as well. So this is the actual model here, and then this is her digital twin that they're calling it here on the right. Yeah. Same here. This is the real one. Digital twin here. Same here. The real, digital. Real, digital, right? I don't know why. Look, I mean, you're not going to age, right? Like I can see the attraction to it, to have this kind of immortalization of yourself, but the legislation on that would be a nightmare. Like, so you're going to be aging, but your AI avatar isn't going to be aging. What's the cost of that? Like, models, I doubt these models are charging the same price if H&M want to use their digital twin over the real one, right? There's no way. There's no way they're getting the same money. So it goes on to say the cost-cutting temptation, right? Why fly a crew to a dreamy beach sunset when a neural network can conjure one up at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday? Meanwhile, makeup, hair, and styling teams are left wondering if the creative alchemy they bring to the set can be replicated by an algorithm. Legislation is scrambling to keep up in New York as the Fashion Workers Act requires that models grant explicit permission for the digital likeness. That's a good start, but it still doesn't address what happens when global brands jump on the AI bandwagon. Historically, whenever there's a cheaper way to do something, companies tend to take it, especially in fast fashion where cost-cutting is practically an Olympic sport. So, yeah, I mean, this is reality, right? If companies can see a way to save some money, like for the most part, they do, right? And I don't know. I mean, ask yourself: would you want a digital twin of yourself up there that some company has control of? And don't worry, they'll only use it for ad campaigns. I mean, in theory, your digital twin will be somewhere on a hard drive when you're dead and buried, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? I mean, it's just eternal youth. Then what happens? What, they just get to use it for free? I mean, I think copyright law typically is 50 years after passing, but you get my point. Like, it's just the legislation on this is wild. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah. Get a digital twin, then head down to Krispy Kreme's for years feasting. Size 6 forever. That's hilarious, man. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Forward thinking, Sin. I like it. Yeah, start your own AI modeling agency. If you can't beat them, join them. I mean, yeah. Like that is the counter argument, Ray. Yeah, 100%. That is absolutely the argument, right? If you can't beat them, join them. Don't get left behind. Yeah. Some intern will use your digital twin. Choose a model for Corn 3 2. That's exactly. Giving your entire digital twin over to a company is wild to me. Now, typically these models that are signing up for this are maybe a little bit younger, right? I get it. You're young. Who cares? Not my problem. Cool. I don't have to get up at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I'll get a third of the money. Like, quids in. I don't know. And those folks can get in the OnlyFans game. That's true. Yeah. Okay, so it goes on. AI is great at pulling from what already exists. It learns pattern styles and existing data, but doesn't really feel anything. Real life shoots can be chaotic. Sometimes the best shot happens when the wind picks up unexpectedly, or a model bursts out laughing at the perfect moment. That spark of spontaneity is something AI can't truly replicate unless we meticulously train it to mimic casual spontaneity. This is a great paragraph here, yeah, and I think it really gets to the core of it, right? We've all been on shoots where there's been happy accidents, right? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been on a shoot where there's been a happy accident and we've kind of run with it, or what he's talking about, this kind of emotion or real kind of spark of emotion here that is captured by somebody bursting out laughing, or like he said, like a gust of wind and that sort of stuff. And this casual spontaneity idea is crazy. And we also know that what he's saying here is AI is great at pulling from what already exists. It learns patterns and styles from existing data, but doesn't really feel. So this would be my argument, right? This would be this young lady has her digital twin, and the AI algorithm will have been fed like this photo shoot, right? I've seen shots where AI is replicating video movements like for like, but you still had to shoot it or steal it from somebody to begin with. So this image here, which is a replication of this one here, like, does the photographer get money for that? Because, you're feeding it your photo shoot, right? Obviously not, right? A photographer's not going to get shit. But, point still stands is that how many of these, shoots have been fed into it to give you like for like, Where would we get to that? Some people in the industry see a chance to adapt. Photographers might become AI directors, telling the algorithm what vibe they want and finessing the results. Makeup and hair pros could shape how digital skin tones or hairstyles are rendered, turning them into specialized digital stylists. In that scenario, AI isn't destroying creativity, it's simply changing the tools we use to make it happen. I guess. Doesn't really sound particularly fun, but yeah, I guess. This just goes on to here. So Valentino's AI campaign, that looks terrible. Moschino's AI campaign, that looks terrible. Moncler here as well, their AI campaign. So like they are doing it, right? They are using AI in these campaigns. Now, I don't know whether Moncler is gonna, like, the type of brand that is gonna carry on. I personally think they'll just do it for the drama and excitement of it being a new thing. And I personally think that a brand like Moncler is going to move on from this. They're just going to do it for the shock factor and kind of move on. I could be wrong, but I certainly hope not. There's a real risk of losing human touch. If cost savings become the priority, we might see fewer sets where creative teams get to experiment and bounce ideas off each other. The magic that arises when people collaborate in person might fade if campaigns can be generated overnight by a neural network. And consumers could get tired of everything looking a bit samey. After all, AI mostly recycles what it's seen before, right? And yeah, absolutely, it's going to copy from something. You know, I know years ago my images were in the original pool that Midjourney and other AI platforms were pulling from, and yeah, like back then it was pretty clear to see. As time goes on, this kind of pool is going to get larger and it's going to be pulling from more diverse subjects over time, but we'll see. The magic that arises when people collaborate in person might fade. And that's right. You know, new ideas are created when you kind of bounce opposing ideas or merged ideas from multiple people in a team. And maybe that's going to happen if you're in a room and the photographer is directing the lighting, and you've got the model there directing her digital twin into the right pose, and then you've got the makeup artist, you know, tweaking up the skin render. It's bullshit. That's not going to happen, because the reason companies are doing this is to save money. They're not going to pay for everybody to be in the same room. So I don't think that's going to happen. It's just going to be done by some troll in a basement somewhere. Yeah. This is why the phrase "the end of creative work as we know it" looms over the conversation. It might sound dramatic, but it captures the very real fear that an industry fueled by imagination and craft will be replaced by lines of code. Yet at the same time, every technological leap, photography itself, film, digital editing has triggered similar anxieties, only to usher in new forms of art and new ways of creative to thrive. So yeah, you can argue that everybody lost their mind when people were shooting color film, right? You're just destroying the sanctity of photography by including color, right? You are destroying the true art of black and white. Same thing happened with autofocus, right? It's just like, oh my god, autofocus, making decisions for you on what to focus on, just destroying the art. It's happened specifically in our industry so much. You know, film and digital, right? I mean, Christ, that went on for years. So this is not the first time, especially for many of us more mature boys and girls in the room here. But yeah, this is not the first time that we've been here. But so it is interesting to see where it will go. Yeah. So ends the article with, ultimately, human creativity must stay at the center of the process. Fashion, after all, has always been about drama, spontaneity, and the thrill of the unexpected. If we're wise, we'll keep it that way, no matter how sophisticated our digital twins become. Dunno. Yeah. I think that there is many photographers out there right now who would love to work with some of these digital twins, right, and create some images like this from home, right? Beautiful model that they may not necessarily have access to, especially people who live, in more rural areas outside of the city and that sort of stuff. They're like, look, I'm never ever going to be able to create images like this organically. So yeah, why not? Would any of you guys use this? And I mean, I'm sure many of you would go, yeah, I test it out, but I'm guessing that it's not of interest to any of you. Like, right? You know, it's like you enjoy the process of creating that image, not sat in front of a monitor fine tuning the prompts. Like, I'm guessing that's what excites many of you here, rather than this idea of a digital twin. So I don't think photographers will be shooting this. I think it will be just digital nerds doing it. I doubt it'll be photographers personally. Yeah. So the AI learns how to direct itself, and everyone's eating cabbage 3 times a day. Yeah. They said that Betamax would be the end of the movie industry. Today it's rumored to be Disney. Betamax, I remember that. Yeah. I want to connect with people I work with. I agree. I think that whether we like it or not, I think when we work with, it be a portrait or fashion or whatever, I think that is a collaborative process. You know, I don't think that there is a shortcut to that. I think that you can. I know I've certainly been in this, whatever you want to call it, flow state with models where you're just genuinely like creating something just awesome that you couldn't have preconceived beforehand. That doesn't make you a bad photographer. It makes you a great photographer for being able to capitalize on that and build into that state where you are working and collaborating with the model to get this kind of really unique look that, you know, that really sings in the image. So yeah, I completely agree, Sam. Yeah, I think you do have to connect. Yeah, every single day that passes shows me I can care less to just say about AI stuff in general. Every single day that passes shows me I can care less than I did yesterday about AI stuff in general. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't seek any enjoyment from using it. I certainly question people who are kind of being a little bit disingenuous when they're sharing images like this. Sure, some of these images have AI photography in the tag. I think she's selling prompts. I think in the comments here there are people who actually ashamedly signed up for the course. Olivia here said that, you know, and she sent me what the course was, and it was terrible. It was awful. So fair play to Olivia for kind of owning it. Like I said, she sent me what she got, and it was, yeah, it was terrible. But yeah, it's certainly something that a lot of people are talking about here and are angry about and concerned about. I don't think it's just easy enough just to go, well, I don't care about it anymore. You're right. I mean, I guess you could do, but other people will use it. Yeah. I hate spending time in front of the screen. I actually edit less now. That's the main thing, Sam. Yeah, a lot of people do just hate sitting in front of the screen. Yeah. Digital twins, we shall see. Yeah, 30 of them. When was this? So it was a month ago. So H&M, huge brand. I'd love to know the figures involved, but I guarantee these young ladies will not be paid accordingly. But yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, great article from Alexi there. Check it out. Fashionography is actually a pretty good site as well. I've got sends me emails of articles and that sort of stuff, and some of them are pretty good, so it's worth checking it out. Okay, let's moving on then to one of the last ones here. Just real quick, Polaroid released a new camera, which is wild. Introducing the Polaroid Flip, the ultimate point and shoot instant camera. So for the longest time, I was actually, is this shooting Polaroid film, or is it just a digital camera shooting Polaroid-esque shots? Like, for the longest time, I'm like, I just want to just double check, right? So this new Polaroid camera, if you can believe, in 2025 is hyperfocal full lens system. So 65 centimeters, 85 centimeters, 1.2 meters, and 2.5 meters. So helping to get sharper images, and the sonar autofocus ensures your subject is always in focus. So this is going to be using sonar to determine the focal point and then choose one of these lenses. Most powerful flash yet, 4.5 meters away. Scene analysis, photographers receive an alert when the photo might be over or underexposed through a viewfinder LED and the subject is too close on the lid display. So kind of, you know, doing their best to kind of bring Polaroid and this kind of organic, vintage, nostalgic look into the 21st century. Available next week, April 29th. Polaroid flip will be $200, £200. So it's a lot of money for a Polaroid camera. A lot of money for a Polaroid camera when you can pick one up on eBay for like, what, 30 quid. So just lastly, I will say some of these videos are actually pretty cool. Yeah, cool videos. Yeah. This is just showing the sonar. Clever. Yeah. And then the images look as you'd expect, but these are definitely reminiscent of that vintage vibe. So like they have kind of updated the camera whilst kept that vintage style. Yeah. Just lastly, just kind of wrap up here about the Polaroid thing, because like they died for many years, right? So this kind of goes on. However, at the turn of the century, the company would be faced with new realities surrounding digital technology's swift rise and ceased the production of instant film in 2008. So yeah, back then that was it. Just shut up shop. End of an era. But that was short-lived, as a dedicated group of instant photographer fans would save the last Polaroid factory in Netherlands under the name of the Impossible Project. So many of you will have heard of the Impossible Project, and they've kind of been digging away at the coalface for many years to try and kind of reinvent the Polaroid film. They've been around a long time now, paving way for the eventual rebirth of the original Polaroid brand in the years following. So Impossible Project are at the helm now, and they're bringing out these cameras. I wish them the best. I think it's a little bit rich. Yeah, a little bit rich for my blood for an instant camera, when, you know, like I said, you can get them for like 30 quid, but, you know, grab yourself one of those, grab yourself one of these, off you go. Job done. Just lastly on this then, Vlad and others sent me this. This is kind of interesting. So you've got these tracking systems that you can put your camera on, like this tripod and plinth and motorized system, and it will kind of track a subject pre-programmed and that sort of thing as well. So Ulanzi here have brought out a system that does the same for lights, right? As we can see here, right? I'm going to mute this mainly because the music is horrendous, and it's got some AI bot talking as well, which is so obviously AI. It's painful, so I'm just going to mute this. But we can kind of see it in action here. My first kind of question with this was, like, if you're spinning a light around on this motor, like, how powerful is the motor? But that's a big old light, right? It's a 600 watt, a big old softbox. So like, this is a powerful motor. Yeah, it's a powerful motor. So this is not just some, using your desktop LED webcam lights. Like, this is a big old unit, right? 450. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So you're tracking and stuff here. 3-meter cable. Oh, this shoot. What is going on there? Respectfully, but What are these doing? I love it when corpos make photography videos. There's a big old light, yeah, and they talk. I think it says 6 kilos, so it can take a lot of weight. I don't know what you would use this for. A light tracking something. I could see it specifically maybe in video or for creative effect. You have like a light panning across something. Could be cool again for video. So rather than tracking something, but you're kind of panning it across the scene. Could be cool. So yeah. So interesting product. Does anybody know? Is that in Kickstarter or anything, Blad, or is that a fully finished product that you can order now? Let's have a look. Okay, it is actually being made. Okay, 250 quid. Not as bad as I thought. Okay, all right. Good for them. That's not as bad as I thought. Yeah. Decent piece of heavy duty kit, $250. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It is released. Yeah. Okay. Do you know what? For some reason, I just kind of got the vibe that was like a Kickstarter type deal. But yeah, no, it's good stuff. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was moving some heavy lights there. So fair play to them. Okay. All right then, let's have a look. So we're gonna look at this cheapo light here, right? So I got this from Hong Kong. I was out there last week and picked this up. This was like 15 quid. So let's see what we get. So light itself, right? Obviously, I'll plug it in a second, see what it does. We got some batteries for the remote there. We got some gels. Nice. We got our gel holder. We got our remote in Chinese. Oh, we got a cheat sheet here at least. That's good. And then we got the cable. So thankfully, I did pick up a converter. So let's just see that. What do we get for £15 worth of LED light? Right. Let's see what we actually get. Let's plug this in. So this is not battery. It is plug in. Right, so get that in there. Let's grab the plug here. Convert that. It's got the control box there. Nice control box. So I'm kind of curious as to how bright this is. How bright this is going to be. One thing about it, I'll just show you here, is that it does have the ability to focus the light, if you can believe that, right? So you're actually focusing the light in and out in there, but you can see the cob light in there. So let's get this on a stand and just fire it at the wall. With that being said, let's see, can I stream is lagging, but can I tether to Lightroom? Let's have a look. Let's see if we can get the old turn the camera on, turn the old Nikon on. Let's see, tethered capture. Yeah, that seems good. Okay, let's see. So see if that finds it. Yeah. It has a nicer focusing mechanism than 45 optical projector and the fuse box chip. Let's see. Yeah. Can I just want... Oof, there we go. It's found the D850. That's good. Okay, let's see then. Right, let's plug this in. Okay. Pretty, it's actually brighter than... It's actually a lot brighter than I thought. Let's have a look. So we got the Kelvin there, which you guys can kind of see changing. Let's have a look at power. So that's at, oh, so that is at 100. You can turn it all the way down to 0.5. Okay. I'm just gonna turn that up to 100, and then of course it's got those. So we've got the Kelvin range of 6500 at the top, going down to 3200. Okay, not terrible. Right, let's put it at 5000 Kelvin here. Let's see what sort of exposure we're getting. So let's start off what? Let's do a 60th 2.8 ISO 100. Let's see what we're getting there. Okay. I'm not sure. That seems okay. That's manageable. It is actually brighter than I thought. Yeah, it is actually brighter than I thought. Yeah. So, I mean, this is white down here. This is white here. So setting it to 5000 Kelvin. This is white here as well. Oh shit! Look at that. I'll be damned. Okay, it's magenta. Like it's obviously it's pretty magenta, but that's great. That's actually bang on 5000. I'm actually really surprised at that. This is a magnolia wall back here, but this is a white V flat with a head sat on it. And all I've done is I've just put the dink on there on the white V flat, and it's come out at exactly 5000, which is what I've got that set to. I am pretty surprised at that. Now, don't get me wrong, very magenta, and there's no way of adjusting that. Interesting, yeah. Okay, look how crisp that is, though. That shadow. Huh. Okay. I've just focused in the beam there a second. Yeah. Thank you, Vlad. It's very polite of you. I do apologize. Sorry, guys. Thank you, Vlad, for pointing out my utter ignorance again. I forgot I didn't have the screen shared. So essentially what I did was took the shot here, boom, and just put the picker on here, which is the white V flat, and then this is a magnolia wall behind. This is a white head here, but this is a white V flat, and the light is actually set to 5000 Kelvin. And me putting the picker on the white here gives me 5000. Now, it's very, very magenta, hence why it's taken out a bunch of green, but really surprised at that. Yeah, professional streamer, I know. Yeah. One of these days, mate, one of these days. What's worse is it baffles me how many industry professionals watch these streams and go, do you know what? We could send this guy some lights. So there's hope for all of us. It's minus 48, but yeah, you think to have some coloured lights in the room as well. There's a fair comment, Vlad. That is a fair comment. There are lights on in here as well. That's a good point. Yeah. So we do have they are pretty low, but yeah, Vlad raises a point in that there is like other lights in the room lighting me as well. That is on a wall like 3 meters away. But yeah. Pretty surprised at how crisp that is as well. I would have expected that to be very feathery, like double shadows, right? This is a 300%. Pretty surprised. Okay, so I've zoomed in. Let me take another shot. So zoomed in is obviously going to be brighter, right? We gained what, a stop of power there. Let's check that out by zooming it in. Let's go up to 125th of a second. That vignetting is most likely the Nikon lens as well. It's probably I mean, it could be the Nikon lens. Let's see. Sony shooters rolling their eyes right now. Yeah. So I've just knocked it down a stop. So focusing it in does give you like a stop of power. Let's have a look where we're at here. Ooh, so focusing it in really screws with the Kelvin. Have added a little bit of juice there. So what you can't see, and I will just take a shot of it. Is it gets very kind of yellowy at the edges here. Yeah, so this kind of yellowy color is actually in the shot as well. But okay, so look, I'm really surprised at how clean that is. How, like, that's 3 meters away. Yeah. Looking behind my phone. 3 meters away. That's focused in. The beam focused in. I'm really surprised at how clean that shadow is. Yeah. Huh. Okay. So yeah, 3 meters away, at least, if not 4 meters. To be fair, it could be 4 meters away. So it's a decent distance. And what I'm at there, so zoomed in, I'm 125th. Don't look at it 100%, please. Nice. And yeah, ISO 100, f2.8. On that zoom lens, on that Nikon zoom lens, which does take a stop of power away. If I was shooting on my prime 105mm lens there, that would be a stop brighter as well. So look, we're kind of splitting hairs here, really. But for 15 quid, like for 15, that's actually way brighter than I was expecting for 15 quid. Really surprised. I mean, it's even comes with a remote, right? I mean, it is all in Chinese, but yeah. Now it does have the gels as well. These are nasty. These are horrendous colors. Just like, this reminds me of the old Bowens gels that we used to sell, that I had a hissy fit over at the time. It's like, please, this is like 1970s colors. Anyway, and they go on, they just clip on the front there, and they just, you know the deal, just clip it on. Okay, so right, I spread it out, 3200. Let's see what we got. So that's 3200. Let's see. Well, that's obviously going to be in there, but so that's coming at 3000 there. Okay. Yeah, 2800. Okay, let's go the other way. Let's see what we got. So 6,500. See. Oh yeah, baby. So that is very blue for 6,500. Christ. Weird. Okay. I think the Kelvin range is more than it's saying according to this. Yeah. Yeah. Be aware that those gels have protective film on both films. Yeah, thank you, Vlad. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. This is your main work right now. Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. Like, it's crazy how far we've come, right? You could happily do a photo shoot with that. Okay, I mean, you're gonna have to jimmy rig some, maybe a little bit of diffusion there or something like that. But like, you could have a full light setup for fucking 60 quid. It's just wild. It's just crazy. And that's not weak. At 100 ISO, 2.8, 60th of a second, like 3 meters away, definitely manageable. Yeah. Wish you had gobos. That's true. Yeah. I wonder, actually. You could 3D print gobos for it, though, of course. That could be cool. Yeah. Especially as soon as you get it the exact size, pop it in there. Job's a good one. That'd be cool. Probably wouldn't be focused enough, but you could still get some kind of shape to some distortion to the light. Could be cool. Yeah. When those melt. It would do on a more powerful LED, Vlad. Yeah, you're right. At the end of that is barely warm. How long has that been on? 15 minutes. So that's definitely not melting anything. Yeah. Interesting. I'm kind of curious now, because that is definitely more than 3500 and 6500 range. That is definitely colder than 6500. That's wild. Yeah. Is there a watt rating on it? No. No. It just says voltage, 110, 240. So when I bought it, I think there was a bunch of them there, and this was like the most expensive one. I think it was supposedly 400 watts. That's obviously not 400 watts. There's no way I was thinking it was going to be 400 watts, but I think that's what it said for 15 quid. But bearing in mind that I think the 100 watt one was £8. And knowing them, it's all exactly the same light in all the boxes. Yeah. Thinking about it now, because all the boxes did look the same. Yeah. So it's probably just all. Yeah. Obviously it's not 400 watts, but it's still bright enough. Yeah. Most expensive one was $15. Yeah. Yeah. £15. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I won't spend any more time on it here, but very impressed by how hard that light is. Kind of impressed as, again, you have to remember that is the Nikon lens. So look, that's pretty clean, right? All I've done there is enable the anti-Nikon button, and it's pretty clean light. Like that is surprisingly even. That is not a hotspot, which I was fully expecting. Yeah. And at 3 meters, that covers the entire wall back there. Huh. Yeah. Wild. Yeah, we've come so far with this now. It's nuts. Yeah. It's crazy what you can get for that money. So whilst we're here, actually, let's just put the Nanlite 120 on there, just to have some sort of idea of power here. So I got it here. So this one is the FC100C by Nanlite. So this is 120 watts, right? So let's just see what sort of power this gives us, right? Or what sort of camera setting this gives us. Let me just plug all this in. 2 seconds. I've got an extra stand on there, an extra arm on there, so I'll put it on this side. Let me just grab the control box here. So just hooking up the control box to that. So let's turn that on. This is 120. Okay, so that is, so where were we? We were, what? What was that? This was the first one we took, right? So this was, in the old one, this was, what, fully wide, 100 ISO, f2.8, 60th of a second, boom. Okay, so that's the sort of power we're getting. So this NAND light here is at 20%, 20% on the 120. Okay. So even at 20% is definitely like a stop brighter, right? So that 120 NAND light is now at 10%. So that's probably looking back to where we were, right? In terms of power, brightness wise. So those two looking about the same. So that 120 watt NAND light is at 10%, and that is the same power as this little 15 quid job here. Okay, so that NAND light has got a lot of juice. Let's take it up to 100. So we know that's going to be hellish bright. Yeah. So let's go. Let's just keep it at 60th to keep it clean, and then just take up the aperture. So 2.8, f4, 5.6, that's 2 stops. So let's go f8, it's 3 stops. Kind of getting there. Could be 4 stops. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, let's go f11. So that's kind of back to where we were, right? So this is, oh, not that one, this one. So we've gone up from 2.8 to 4 to 5.6 to 8 to 11. So it's 4 stops brighter. So this, yeah, so this 120 is 4 stops brighter than the no-name 15 quid one. So what does that mean? So if we go 120 to 60 to 30 to 15 to, like, according to this, that is 8 watts, something like that. I don't know. So yeah, kind of bringing it back then to what we were talking about at the start of this. People were talking about like the Amran 20 watts and that sort of thing. You know, it's not unfeasible to be using those low powered lights. Yeah. Honestly, for 15 bucks, this is still, if you're starting out, just run water toy. I agree with that. I think if you like learning light is for the most part about just getting in there and kind of playing with it, right? And I think that lights like this for just kind of playing around with, you could absolutely get a couple of these and start taking some corporate portraits or whatever easily. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. So we can extrapolate. I agree with that. Yeah, I would say maybe I feel like that can't be 8 watts, but yeah, I would agree with you. I would say something around 15, 20 watts. Yeah. Okay. But look, for 15 quid, I'm just fascinated that we can be at that point now. It's just crazy to me. Yeah, absolutely crazy to me. Yeah. For that money, you can start playing around with lighting for that money is wild. It's just going to sit there for ages for some reason. Okay. It didn't. Nice. Okay. Right then. So, any questions on that? Just hit me up. I'll get you my affiliate code for that bad boy. Get you some money off that $15 light, and we can start doing business. So let's move on to the images you guys have been sharing. Really good images again this week. Just absolutely incredible images. Really, really good stuff. Yeah. Next, try something not cheap. The new the Sony 50mm and 50mm f2 lens. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, you do need it to be kind of properly exposed, because I know that my zoom lens there on the Nikon has a ton of glass in it. It's a 24-70. It's a ton of glass in it, and it takes typically about a stop of light away. So again, which kind of puts us in a ballpark, like I said, 15 watts, 20 watts for that fella. Yeah. The Sony 50mm, 150mm f2. That's not a lens, is it, Sam? 50 to 150mm. That's not a zoom lens, is it? F2. That's wild. It can't be. Let's have a look. So if you're new here, what are we doing? We are going through images from the share shoot. If you missed it, just head over to the Facebook page and pop it in the comments there. We do this kind of every week. Yeah, just released. That is a lens, 50 to 150 f2, $4,000. Okay, I guess. Yeah. Damn. That's a juicer. Yeah. That's wild. That's crazy. So everybody in here that should be in here. Oof. Damn, that's looking good, man. Vlad took the week off. I respect it. One less, Vlad. Okay, so let's have a look. So what we got here? We got all comments. I had to drag Jamie's out of the sin bin, seeing as Facebook just hates anything even remotely left field. Tommy, well done for posting this again. Yeah, I was like last week. I was just wrecked with jet lag. I did see you post this. I did see it was a very cool shot. Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah, so thanks for reposting that. Okay, let's have a look now. See what we got. So Darius here. I think I'm gonna like closer portraits like this. I always shoot models from distance, silhouette, and other no close shots. But when I saw color mix during this shoot, I changed my mind a little bit. What do you think? I used here only 2 RGB sticks, one from top, second from bottom. Something like clamshell lighting. What do you think? Those 2 colors are nice mixes. What do you think? Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is cool, man. Yeah, this is really cool, and I like the idea of kind of playing with this almost abstract closeness, especially where we have these beads of light. Nice little catch light in there as well. Yeah. Let's just fire up Photoshop here a second. Yeah, good stuff as always, Darius. Yeah, good stuff, man. I mean, like you're always on point with these, so it's always a pleasure seeing these. Let's have a look at. Have a look at this in here. Okay, so my kind of concern with this one is going to be how much our eyes are kind of drawn to the bottom of frame here. It's very, very bright, you know? And I do think that it's kind of taking away from where we want to be up here. So my honest opinion on this one, I love it. Skin texture here, the retouching on the skin, bang on, love it a lot. Love the detail here in the hair, love this kind of bar of color that we have coming across here. Well done getting the catchlight here as well. But yeah, it's just gonna be too bright at the bottom there. It's getting a little bit kind of distracting. So I would kind of try and knock it back, you know. Can we? Can we just fucking have a gradient Photoshop? Thank you. So just try and knock in that back a little bit, and then if you wanted, you could, you know, you could bring the like the rest up a tiny bit here. Yeah. But yeah, just to kind of take away from this brightness at the bottom of the frame, but everything else I really like. I wonder what it would look like without the fingers there as well, just as kind of distracting, right? This is always a gamble. What we're going to get: chicken, dolphin eating a mushroom. Nobody knows. I mean, that is part of the fun of Photoshop, right? So it really just cleans it up, right? And just keeps the focus right there. Kind of like, could we even go even further with this? Let's have a look. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Soon as it just looking at compositionally and focus on where we're going with it, you know. But yeah, beautiful shot. Yeah. Flash just dropped something in there. Oh my god! Have a look. Let's refresh it now before I totally forget. Sam says, quick question: when people add diffusion cover to a small light, say a cube, they say it becomes a soft light. I thought soft light has to do with size and distance from subject. Ooh, Sammy, you can't believe you just came in here and just dropped that grenade. It's almost like you're baiting me with that. You're absolutely right to think that, Sam. Yeah, and I completely agree. So it is to do with the size of the light in relation to the subject, right? So you could have a massive softbox, but if it's like 20 feet away in the car park, it's no longer a soft light, right? It's going to be a hard light for the same reasons that you described, and the same reason why a diffusion cover. But did you see on Vlad's video earlier on where he had that grid on that light and the shadow that it cast was horrendous, right? Whereas that diffusion is just going to clean that up. So it's not really going to make it a soft light, but it will soften up the edge transitions. Yeah, so think of it like that. So it's not just about how soft the light is going to be and the wraparound of all that sort of thing, but think about the, you know, how the shadow is going to transition from light to dark, and those kind of diffusion covers will help that. Yeah, rather than you getting that. Remember that light I showed you on the wall there, which was like razor sharp shadow. So it's a very quick edge transition. So had I put a diffusion cover on that, even though it's a small light, it would have softened up that edge, but it wouldn't be a soft light. Yeah, hopefully that helps. Oh, look at Vlad right to the top of the queue. Look, coming in. This is a cool color, actually. Yeah, I just posted something so I wouldn't take the week off, but I really have to play some more with the fake sunset up to dark. But oh, I saw that, Vlad. Yeah, I saw your video on that. That's kind of cool, man. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I think it definitely definitely has the vibe here. Yeah, this is really nice, really nice, and kind of good to be leaning into this color, because what was it a gray background? What was he shooting on, like black background? What we got there? And then kind of pulling out this color from that. And I do kind of like this, like the lip and hair hat color here being the same. Kind of works. Nice contrast, that kind of subtle magenta against the green. Actually, yes, as soon as I open this up, kind of into the kind of white wall. Okay, great. Yeah. So again, a really good example of just kind of having not much to work with in terms of, you know, space, just a white wall, and boom, you know, you can do some really cool stuff with simple light and some color grading, and off you go. Yeah. You just come from the North Sea, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff, lad. Yeah, good stuff, man. Thanks for sharing that. Green is from my grade and the wankiness of LED tinting. Oh, is that what you're playing with? Okay. Did you? Is it that you push in the tint, right? Who's up next? We've got Carol here. So Carol, I got 2 Amaran 300C continuous lights. Those Amarans, man, doing well, right? Probably breaking rules. I mostly shoot action, so I'm finding it hard to use them for my dance clients. Interesting. Okay. Playing around mixing gelled strobe. Okay. Mostly shoot action, so I'm finding it hard to use them for dance clients. Hoping outdoor suit, also hoping to learn from you. Added some metallic blue makeup and metallic attire to add more color and reflection. Yeah, great idea. Yeah, and you know, getting the skin as kind of shiny and oily as possible is always going to be great with colored light. Always going to give you beautiful results. This is why these little bastards down in LA just have this beautiful glow to them, because they're all sweaty little sods out there in the sun. You know, and those, like any films you see shot in LA where they're just all sweaty and just greased up the whole time, is awesome, right? It just looks so cool, which is, you know, conversely, like winter in England, and it's just you're not getting a single hint of moisture on the skin. So adding metallic paints and that sort of stuff, but also you get yourself like a spray bottle, and you can kind of, you got to be careful with makeup and baby oil and that sort of thing, which is, I know you got a lot of makeup going on here, but what you can do is water down glycerin. You can get glycerin from like the pharmacy. It's like £1 for half a litre or something. And you can kind of water it down. So, I mean, like 50-50 might be a nice place to start, but if that's too thick, then just water it down some more. Just put it in a bottle and you can kind of like spray it on them, and it will kind of stay on the skin a little bit longer to give them that shine. Let's have a look here. Okay, so one thing I'm kind of looking at here, right, is that we got to be thinking about where the viewer is kind of going when the image comes up, and a lot of the time it's going to be brightness here. So we've got to be careful that we're not just going boom straight to this kind of large area at the back of the head and neck. Here is kind of where our eyes are going. It's just like right there. So we kind of want to play around with bringing some of that out here. So we can kind of maybe brighten this up. I'm just kind of like, just trying to see what's in there. So we do have a little bit of data back there. Let's see. In fact, let's just do this in camera raw, because that's gonna allow us to cheat a little bit. Okay, so let's bring up the shadows here. There we go. So immediately this is just targeting the shadows, so we can kind of get in there and play around with that. Now that's just going to give us a little bit of sense of depth, right? I know it's going to be JPEG and it's going to look ugly back there, but immediately this sense of depth here is going to allow us to have a foreground and a background. Let's bring down these whites here. Right. I want some contrast there. Let's have a look. Okay. One thing we can do is to kind of tighten up these colors a little bit. So we've got a lot of kind of greens and blues there. We can just kind of tighten these up just a touch here. And we can make sure that's, I know you kept that as red originally, so let's try and keep that. Okay, so here in the luminance, we can bring down the blue here because we don't want it to be so bright here. We don't want our, like, I do kind of like the shine and stuff, but we don't want our eyes to just shoot off the back of frame, which is what's going to happen when we do that. So conversely, we can then bring up the light side here and keep our focus in there, right? Just as an example. So here we can see, you know, think about where your eyes are drawn to like this, and then think about where your eyes are drawn to right now, right? We're drawn more to the front as opposed to just shooting to the back of the neck, right? And again, having just a touch of data back here enables us to have that kind of separation of depth, okay? Daniel's up next. Let's have a look and see what Daniel's got here. AJ, welcome back. Sounds like you had a top time. Got some new toys. Yeah. Oh, Vlad. I know what Daniel just reminded me. I got a couple of these things. So that you can't see it there, but yeah, it goes on the stand like that, and then you put like a weight on there, right, and then it holds it on there. £3, Vlad. £3. I got a couple of them. Yeah, they're good for, you can put knuckles on there and that sort of thing, but they're just quick to like hang stuff off. So yeah, I got a couple of £3 for those. Nice little pickup. I know what that is, even though I can't see it. Right? Yeah. But there was so we were in a store, like one of these little stores, and it was like £15 or 150 Hong Kong dollars, which is like 10%. To have a name for them, preferably in Chinese. So what I did was I was in the store, and there's a Chinese store called Taobao, right? Let me see if I can show you. Let me see if I can show you. So this store here, right? Now, in the app, what I was able to do was, this is what's so great about this, is that you can click on the camera function here, and you can just scan whatever product that you found. So I was in this store just scanning some bits. I need to do it off there. Okay. Let's see. So. Will it work on this? Let's have a look. Will it work on this? It might not. It didn't. Let me just try again. If I put it on a white surface. There you go. No, this thing is wild. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, so those of you who are not aware, yen is like, so pounds are like 10%. So this here is like £3.50, right? Because it's 35, so it's like £3.50, £3.80 for this one. Oh, it's a pricey one, £4, right? But yeah, so this camera function was so good. Let me just see if I can bring up the. Let me see if I can scan this light. Boom. So it's like this thing was like so good. You just scan any box. There it is. This is the little one of the fellas here, similar to that. Oh, that's the fella right there. There we go. Look at that. £6 for this one. Whew. This is a cheap one. So yeah, so this Taobao app was just so good, and then we just kind of ordered it from these guys, and it's just everything you can possibly imagine. Like you just scan in everything, and it finds it from some Chinese factory, and then just ships it to you. It's wild. Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's close this out. We have a name for them. Primitive those times. Local Express, your perfect found Express. Nice. $6. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so from Daniel here, welcome back. Got some new toys. Hopefully see you later today. So very simple red wash from Gel Strobe. Diffuse 71-inch umbrella on the RHS loop as key and gridded. Think number 10. Okay, so with this one here, right? Was going to backlight, preferred simple backlight on the end. Okay. This is cool, yeah. So kind of like playing with these block colors, almost kind of monochromatic colors. One thing I will say when you're doing this with colors, though, Daniel, is thinking about the exposure of color, right? Because this red, in my opinion, is a touch overexposed here. So, like, if we could kind of bring that back, like that. Ideally in camera we can see here how we're losing data, right? And that's because that red is overexposed, and this typically happens because, and I've mentioned this before, but our camera chips and that sort of stuff really struggle to read like the far end of the spectrum, so i.e. the reds and like the ultraviolet blues and that sort of stuff. So we kind of have to be aware of that, or be aware of the limitations of our tech and kind of shoot accordingly. So if I was shooting this, I would be like, okay, I need to underexpose this red because I know that it can't handle it, right? Now there's not going to be any data there, so I can't really bring it back, but you should kind of be able to see what I'm getting at. Okay, so we can kind of bring back but that red, and I can't bring it back because there's no data there. But yeah, it's just you've got to be real careful with these bold reds. And in the past, believe it or not, I have actually purposely underexposed the reds by 2 stops to make sure that I've got all the data there in the highlights of the red. It's far easier to bring up shadow detail in these colors than it is to kind of bring down highlight data. So yeah, it's just kind of worth bearing in mind when you're using these bold colors like reds. Extreme blues, like deep blues, can be the same as well. Yeah. Banding, yeah, well, yeah, and that kind of banding will come from that data as well, lack thereof. Another Easter Bunny, nice one, Tony. This is cool. This is nice. Yeah, good stuff. There's some crazy shoes, man. Fair play. So we see we've got this double shadow here. This kind of duped shadow. We've kind of spoken about this in the past, and I've done articles on it. It's just worth you guys kind of being aware of this whenever you're doing like hard light shoots like this. Okay, and what I'm referring to is, what the hell? I got this new keyboard. It's all over the place. Yeah, so what I'm referring to is this shadow here, and then this shadow here, right? This is that double shadow that we get. And this can happen when the light is in the modifier, the bulb is in the modifier, and the light is hitting the model directly, but the light is also bouncing around the dish and then hitting the model. And that's what gives us these double shadows. So we can either use kind of, you know, fancy modifiers like an optical snoot, preferably a projection unit, or if you're like, well, I don't have any of those, Jake, what you can do is put a diffusion sheet over your hard light, and that will get rid of this double shadow instantly. So it's worth kind of playing with that. Well, let's just check the stream is still there. Yeah, it's still there. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I've got one from Tommy here. I know Tommy shared this last week, but I was away. I'm still on the Mylar effect. I took your advice from the last live stream you did and ensured that I was using an eye light of sort. Thanks for that too. Nice. My current work I'm leaning towards seems to be more moody. Yeah, I think the moody contrast and enables us to play with a lot of colors, right? If we're playing with these contrasting colors, then like we do kind of need that mood. And like I think this is kind of tricky to shoot like this as well, kind of up the nose and that sort of thing. You know, it's a tough angle to get shot with. I think you pulled it off. I think the lighting on her is fine. I think for the most part what people tend to do is when somebody's lying down, they forget to kind of light from above, even though they're lying down, right? So you kind of end up with light going up the nose and that sort of thing. But for the most part, it seems pretty clean. We've got orange coming from underneath. They've got that nice fill, and then on top we've got this nice clean white light. And again, we can see them lying on the Mylar here, and it's good stuff, man. Yeah, I think it's a great shot. I think it's a really nice shot. I think that, I mean, you could kind of be nitpicky and go, oh, it would be nice to see maybe just a tiny bit more data here, but maybe we don't need to. Like, I mean, it's just unfortunate that she's black on black and that sort of thing, so it is kind of tricky. But yeah, like I think it works. I think the outfit and that sort of thing works. And I like the fact that we've got all orange down here, and then we've got some blue up here. So you're thinking about keeping the two separate. I think it's a great shot. Yeah, I think it's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, just clean up this abstract mark here, and then we, clean up some of these marks here, which kind of a bit distracting. I think like the main focus needs to be on these strong lines here. I think that needs to be the main focus. We can just clean up these elements here. Yeah. One kind of trick to doing that is if we duplicate that, filter, is it noise? Dust and scratches? Yeah, there we go. Let's just zero this out a second. All right. So we got this crap up here, right? Yeah, I think what's easiest is if you zero them out and then kind of bring it up until they disappear, and then you bring up the threshold, which is going to give you back the texture, but should keep the should get rid of some of the crap. Yeah. Now obviously it's ruined her there, so you just mask it out with the with a brush. Really? Can I not invert that? Oh, it's a vector mask. Okay, I stand corrected. and then you just paint it in to clean up some of the dust and stuff there, and that'll just help with to get rid of distractions and that sort of thing, and then you can kind of sharpen these elements afterwards. But yeah, using the it's a low level. Yeah, so you can get, there you go. Now just get rid of some of that dust. You can see do the same here. It's just faster than going in and doing it like all by hand. That's all. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, Tommy. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Wait, Jamie's got deleted again. Let's have a look. There it is. Poor Jamie, man. Another revisit of last year because I've had bugger all work so far this year. It's not just you, mate, I can assure you. This is from the first time I used rotor lights and didn't have a bloody clue what I was doing. 2 AOS, 2 Pros, the subject of 2 Neo 3s in the background. Okay. So again, this kind of similar sort of thing here, I would say. And look, this, I know you. Thank you for sharing the image, but I think, and I know that you don't do this anymore, so it's kind of unfair to bring it up now. But for other people watching, just in terms of that brightness, right? So come in here and let's just bring this down with these colors, and we can still bring out the whites here to make it pop, but just in terms of those colors overall, we really don't want them kind of clipping. Yeah, so just bringing up, this kind of darkens this up as well, so that we're still trying to get that strong idea of what this fabric is and the color of it. So it's not bleached out. This can often happen with like stuff on the lens, flare in the lens, and that sort of thing. But and again, to be fair to Jamie, he doesn't do this anymore. I'm just bringing it up for other people watching. And I'd already knocked it back. yeah. So all comments, let's just check nobody else is getting banned in here. Let's have a look. Got Tommy's, seen Tommy's. Oh, Sterling got banned. I mean, understandable, Sterling. Come on, mate. This is a family stream. Hi, welcome back. This is also behind the scenes image 2-in-1. Wait, is that you? That's hilarious. Nice, man. Nice. I noticed that YouTube chooses the thumbnails of these live streams, and the last live stream it literally chose the only image where we were looking at a bottom in a thong. I'm like, YouTube, like, you're the one that tells us off for it, and then you choose that as the default thumbnail. Like, come on, make your mind up. Good to see these lines nice and straight. Sterling, this is good stuff. Clean those up, which was cool. Yeah. So you went for this. This is kind of pretty lifted in terms of brightness for you. I'm more curious about the coloring of this. Oh, really? You're gonna camera raw the mask, really? Like, can we use a? Just see if we can bring out any of these blues up here while still maintaining that. Ooh, what do we got here? We got these. Let's see, we got any blues in there? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, okay. What have we got? This dehaze in here. What if we give it a little bit of a Glow? Nice. Just Just trying to give it some color contrast at the top there versus the bottom, that's all. Yeah, okay. Good stuff though, mate, good stuff. Alejandro, okay, this is cool. This is cool. Hey Jake, as always. Hey Darius, we just went over your picture, mate. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for the creative and productive spirit. This is one of the shots from a session I did over a year ago. I always like to build a set which the model is going to be immersed in and interacting with. Okay, this particular set are made out of found CNC scrap pieces, which are the negatives of cut types of letters. That's cool. The rest is just gelled lights and a subject. We did our own makeup. I don't use Photoshop. I try real hard not to leave Lightroom. You can see the entire album on the website. Okay, this is cool, man. Yeah, this is I love this. I absolutely love this idea. There's got to be tons of scope for that, right? With these cutouts, that's really cool. Yeah, you could definitely make a bunch of these. Okay, let's keep that in mind. You said you don't like leaving light room. Well, that's kind of fine for what we've been doing here, because for some reason we've ended up in Camera Raw for most of this. So let's try and stick to that. And everything that we do in Camera Raw we can do in Lightroom. So let's kind of keep that in mind. So shot like this then, love the idea. We kind of want to lean into the graphical elements here, and we also want to kind of bring out kind of some of the tones and colors that are there. So first off, I'm kind of tempted to knock these back a little bit further, and I'm also kind of tempted to knock this yellow back here a little bit, so that we try and keep the focus on our subject there. So let's kind of see what we've got here. Let's see if we just bring the overall exposure back. And I'm kind of tempted to knock these quite dark. Right, we can keep that there. So that's looking good there. So I just want to come in here and maybe see if we can... can we... color range, can we get that? Not bad, not bad, okay. Just try and take that back. Now we can still, because it's becoming a bit muddy, we can still bring that up a little bit. Yeah, okay. So let's have a look what we got here. So you see what I mean about our focus and where that's going, yeah? Let's get rid of it. It's affecting the lips there, so let's just cut out the mouth there. Is that doing anything? What's the density? 100. Okay. Okay, cool. Right, it's doing it. Okay. So let's come out of here then. Let's come back up to here. Let's come down to, because we've got these purples and stuff here. I'd like to kind of drill into those if we can. See if we can bring those about. We've got what we want to do with color grading. We want to tighten up this color palette, right? So these glasses here, let's see if we can tighten these up so this is kind of the same color. We've got the eye makeup, this purple around here. Let's see if we can kind of deal with that. Now, if you're doing this in Lightroom, one of the you're like, oh my god, Jake, you're doing all this work. Once you've done it once, you can just copy all this across to all the other images. So it's not the end of the world if you needed to kind of do this for multiple images. So here's that purple, right? We can grab it here. We can kind of bring it out. Let's have a look at the saturation on that. Let's bring that up. I got these blues. So let's have a look at these oranges. We want to make sure that skin is still believable. We got this yellow. Deal with that. Okay. So let's just double check in here. This luminance, we can really make these pop if we can. Oh, okay. it's getting a bit muddy. Let's just take off some of the Kelvin there. Nice. Okay. It's kind of getting there. I think you could take some time to push this around, and I think you could probably even get more purples out of there. There you go. You're starting to pull it out now. Yeah, there you go. And if you wanted, and you're like, oh, it's getting a bit muddy in there, we could cheat a little bit here in the highlights and just bring that in there. Okay. So again, like looking at how we can bring the focus away from this kind of top right there, bringing it down, and then bringing out some of these purples, matching it with the eye makeup and the glasses. So now we're kind of, really kind of tightening that up, and then darkening this down, because these shapes are just, I think, such a great idea. I love that, and I would love to see you kind of do more with that, with this CNCing. I think that'd be so much you could do with that. Very, very cool. And we haven't even played with, having a grad of light coming across the shadow side here. Yeah, yeah, very cool, very cool. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Hit the bell icon. Savage, man, savage. These are all the comments from. These are all the ones from Steve. Oh, actually, we didn't actually look at some of these. So let me just fire up one of these, because we kind of saw this at the photo show, and I took a video of it, and I didn't show you guys. So thank you, Steve, for kind of bringing it back. So Godox have brought out these panels, right? These panels, which, if you remember rightly, Rotolite won a bunch of awards for these last year and that sort of thing. So Godox have just kind of been inspired by it, and have made these larger panels with it. I think it's cool. I don't know how practical it is, but yeah, it's cool. But yeah, thank you, Steve. I haven't seen that video. Yeah, so thank you for that. Let's open this one, new window, see what this one is. Oh, it's the light mons. Yes, we were already chatting about that, so that's good. That's on topic. 870 quid for that light. Those are the YouTuber influencer lights. Jesus Christ, that seems a bit. A 600 watt. Okay. Kind of surprised at that price point, but there we go. What we got here? Window. We got. Okay. So this one I hadn't seen. Harlow Minimax 40 watt bicolor. £1,000. Fuck me. Who is like? What's the rating of this? If it's not IP65, then, I mean, which they all are, this is not. IP60, respectively. Christ, 40 watts, but not even RGB. Oh man, I don't know. That seems steep to me. It seems steep to me. That's just my opinion. I have the bell icon ring. I'm probably too much. Woke up like yeah. Form over function. Exactly, Sam. Well said, mate. Well said. You're right. That's exactly what that is. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. Yeah. They're doubling down on this kind of vintage style thing. Yeah. Even Steve thought very expensive. Yeah. So last one then from Lennart here. Absolutely beautiful image to end on. Fresh from today's shoot. Sometimes I still struggle to use constant RGB LED lights instead of gelled flashes, because for me they oversaturate way faster. Interesting. I wonder why that's happening. The shoot was lit with a blue RGB LED from the right side. I wonder what lights you're using, Lennart. Are you using like cob lights, like the single point lights, or are you using panels, or what? Interesting. This this shot was lit with a blue RGB LED light from the right, gridded softbox. Okay, so probably a cob then. The warm color was provided by a warm white LED light in the optical snoot that hit a small prism crystal in the middle of the model's left hand, so she could direct the dabs of reflection back into her face. Okay, interesting. Very creative, I like it. Starting point in Lightroom was your inside nighttime color crank preset. Mate, I don't want to take all the credit, but that preset saved that image. I adjusted almost every slider afterwards. You don't need to put that, Lennart. Like, it was fine just leaving it with my preset. This is a beautiful shot, Lennart. This is absolutely beautiful. I love this. I love this kind of very subtle shadow detail here. Gorgeous. Really strong separation from the subject on the shadow side with the light side back here. So we have this kind of dark, light. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Love to see that. And clean light on the face as well, right? So we've got this colored light. I'm not fully sure on what's going on here and how we've got this. The warm light inside an optical snoot, so that's coming. So I presume that's over on the camera right here, coming down, and it's not really affecting the nose or anything like that. You're keeping the face clean. I'm not seeing any of the crystal effect, but maybe that's just me. We got another one here, maybe. Oh, this crystal thing. Yeah, this is another shot where you can see the hand lit by the snoot. Found the first one way stronger. Yeah, agreed, man. Agreed. Yeah. Okay, so these are the pockets of light that has been bounced in, right? That's interesting. Okay. I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing it. It's nice. Okay. Yeah. I think you could probably, between you and I, you could probably buzz that out. Beautiful catch lights in the eyes. Real clean retouch. It's good stuff, man. Really good stuff. Yeah. Thank you for sharing this. What a great image to end on. Yeah, beautiful work. Yeah, nice. Yeah, good idea with the bouncing it back in, and you can see it. You can definitely see it happening in this one. Kind of cool. Yeah. Good stuff. Right. I think that's it, guys. I think that is it. We covered a lot today. A lot of news to cover. A lot of products that we chatted about. Even did a live review. I mean, it's easy. Sponsorship deal is probably on the way. But yeah, we played around with some light live on stream, even tethered live on stream as a first. There we go. Be in the studio next week. I think that's everything. Yeah, images covered. It's all good. Oh, I didn't show you my holiday photos. Oh, damn. I won't show them. I won't show them all. See if I'll just show a couple. I was playing around with the colours. My organisation is just playing around with colours, right? That's good stuff, though. Yeah, even got moody. Look at this grain, lad. Into that. Yeah. So yeah, my holiday photos are not what you'd typically expect, right? I was just really cranking a lot of the colours in a lot of these shots. This was at dawn or something like that. Getting some of these colours. Just playing around with these colours was a lot of fun. Like this, I thought was kind of cool as well. Like this is so typical for a naive middle-aged English white man. Just everything in like Asia, Hong Kong here was just like, holy shit, I gotta take a picture of that. I love this texture and this just grit and visual noise that all these buildings have. And yeah, it was like, yeah. And this was all shot on the Fuji X100, like the OG one that like came out in 2011 or something. Yeah. This little fella. So fixed lens, all the rage. You guys want to get one? Fixed lens. but yeah, like, and then looking at how I can push the color contrast here with the blues and the reds is a lot of fun. How is that not a building from Fallout 4? Like, I'm just saying. But yeah, tons and tons of color out there to work with, which was a lot of fun. There's also a film set, like walled in, it was called, like so the old Kowloon walled city, and which I'm fascinated by. If you haven't heard of it, then look it up. It was basically like one of the most densely populated, if not the most densely populated point on the planet in the 90s, and it was like this free zone where there was like the UK didn't own it, China didn't own it. It was just totally just totally this free reign kind of rogue state area, and it was like only a couple of square miles really, but and it was just stacked, and they made a movie out of it, and they kind of rebuilt a lot of the areas with it. So really just again playing around with colors and texture, right? But yeah, tons of stuff like that. We got here. Yeah, again. Oh, we went to the like the Instagram spot, which was this monster building, which was kind of cool. Again, like everything's a shot really when it's all looking like this. Yeah, but a lot of fun to play with these. Yeah. Also did some shots at night here. Let's have a look. This is just kind of me doing my reportage style, but also did some neon shots as well. I mean, how could you not, right? But it was fun playing with the neon stuff. Yeah. When I was out there 8 years ago, I remember saying to my wife at the time, it's like, oh, it's crazy, all these neon signs are disappearing and they're all going LEDs, and that's the reality. All of these signs are LEDs, but there's not that many of them crammed up like they used to be. There's like this one area that we googled, and you can see they kind of stack up nicely here, but and then again coloring them to kind of make them all a similar kind of color and that sort of thing. But yeah, it was good. That turned out surprisingly cool as well. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. Asia's so great to photograph for this sort of things. This stuff that I like with the texture and the grit, and just really like pulling out some of these colors. A lot of fun. So this is the problem with this 2011 camera. So this is ISO 3200, and I haven't added that noise. Yeah. Yeah. And let's have a look. Message going like, thank you, Jamie. Yeah, Liam Wong. Yeah, oh, good. That's Liam Wong is good stuff, man. Yeah, show some photos from your birthday party or something. Yeah. What the fuck? Thank you, Jamie, for asking about the course. Yeah, so a couple of people have asked about this. So the course is going to be Color 2.0, and it is going to be LED focused course. And I do like the main focus of it is how LED lights have changed the way that we can light our subjects, especially people coming from flash, whether it be strobe, speed lights, or whatever. So now that I'm back from Hong Kong, everything should be in place. So I should be kind of getting the announcement out fairly soon. In fact, Nanlite asked me about it today actually, because they want to put some lights in there as well. So yeah, should be good. But thank you for the reminder, Jamie. And I appreciate you asking about it. So I think that's it. I think holiday snaps aside, I think we've wrapped it up. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Sorry the stream was patchy. Did the stream even out towards the second half, or was it just choppy throughout, or what was going on? Because I know a bunch of you saying it was freezing and stuttering and that sort of stuff, so I don't really know what that is because I can't see it happening on my end, which is super annoying. Yeah, who knows? But anyway, hopefully it was watchable. As always, if you want to learn more about what I'm doing lighting wise, Squarespace seems to be down as a whole, but Trust me, check out that link. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. So Squarespace does seem to be down. Yeah, everything seems to be down Squarespace. Like, subscribe to... Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to me, but listen to Jamie. Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and ding the bell. Yeah, so, well, that sucks that I can't show you my online workshops, but when Squarespace is back, check those out. Hey, thanks, Ed. Appreciate that, and thank you for you guys for hanging about all the way through it. It's always good to hang out, and I know it's been a long time, but yeah, hopefully do this again in a couple of weeks. Can't see any reason why not. And yeah. All right, and guys, thanks everybody who shared an image. Incredible work as always. Please don't be put off by the incredible work being shared. Please, don't be put off by that. I know this is some of the most incredible colored lighting you've seen anywhere on the internet, but don't let that dissuade you from sharing your own images. All right, then, guys, I'm gonna grab some dinner. Take it easy. Good luck with any shoots you got planned, and I shall catch you in the next one. Take care, guys.